everyone, this is Crystal. Welcome to Jolie Knots Crochet. Today we're going to be making this fanny pack. You can put a zipper on it like I did, or you can put buttons on it however you like. We're going to be using the Star Stitch for this tutorial for the pouch, and we're going to be making ties out of chains. The cotton that we're going to be using today is a 4-weight cotton. We're going to be using a 5mm hook. Alright, thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, share with your friends, and watch the video all the way through to the end. Okay, so to start on our fanny pack, we are going to chain 32. We're going to have 32 chains, multiples of 2. So if you want your fanny pack to be longer, then that is totally fine. Mine, I want it to be approximately the size of my phone with a tiny bit of space left over, but keep in mind that when you do the Star Stitch, it is going to kind of crunch up a little bit. Mine's really just going to be for like my phone and my keys and some money like when we go out. So, whoops. We're going to get started. Let me zoom in a little bit. We've got 32 chains. We are going to insert our hook into the second chain from the hook and draw up a loop. Now insert it into the next chain and draw up a loop. Now you have 3 loops. Into the next, draw up a loop. Now we've got 4, and our last one, insert it into the next and draw up a loop. So we're always going to have 5 loops on our hook for that first row of the Star Stitch. Pull through all loops and chain 1 to secure. So now for our next one, we're going to stick our hook into the eye of that last stitch. That's going to be our first loop on the hook. 1. Second one is going to be the same chain space that this last Star Stitch ended in, and we are going to draw up a loop. Now into the next chain space and draw up a loop. Now we've got 4, and we want 1 more, so we're going to go into the next chain space, draw up a loop. And now we've got 5, so we're going to draw through all 5 loops. Chain 1 to secure, and we're going to keep going. Into the eye of the stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and draw through all 5 loops. Okay, so we're going to continue that all the way into the end. Chain to secure, into the eye of the stitch, the last, oops. Don't make your chain 1 to secure too tight, otherwise you're not going to be able to go into the eye of the stitch. So, okay, starting over. Eye into the stitch. Last stitch worked. And 2 more to make 5 loops on our hook. Remember, if you're getting confused, we are always going to have 5 loops on our hook before we draw through. Just like that. Yarn over, pull through all. Alright, go ahead and continue that, and I will meet you at the end for row 2. When you get to the end of the row, we will make 1/2 double crochet into the last chain. So now if you see, oops, I chained 1 extra. So it's a good time to show you guys a little trick. What I do with my extra chains is really pull them out backwards from the back. Simple. You should have a yarning needle, and that will be easier for you to be able to do that. So I'm going to pull that last one out And this will now be my last chain. All right. Now to start round 2, we're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. Row 2, I'm sorry. Now we're going to see these eyes. These are the eyes of your stars. This is the first half of your star row, and now the second half we are going to be completing your stars. So 2 half double crochets, yarn over, pull through all 3, 1, 2, and again into the next eye, 1, 2, and again into the next eye, 1, 2, and you're just going to keep doing that all the way down the row. Okay, so now that we get to the end of the row, we're going to put our last 2 half double crochets into the eye of the last stitch. Well, our last 2 groups of half double crochets. And then our actual last double crochet is going to be in the top of our first stitch. Right, oops, here. Just like that. Okay, now to start. So to get started on our next row, we're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work, and we're going to put our hook into the second chain from the hook and pull up a loop. Now into the third chain, pull up a loop. Now into the top of the last double crochet, pull up a loop, and now into the top of the next double crochet, pull up a loop, and then pull through all. And then we're going to chain 1 to secure. Now we're going to do like we did down here on the chain spaces. Insert our hook into that eye of the stitch, drop a loop into the last stitch worked with that star, draw up a loop, and then we're going to draw up a loop through the next 2 stitches, just like that. Draw through up and pull through 5 loops, chain 1 to secure. So we're going to do that all the way across. Let me show you a couple of times. Through the eye, 1, through the last stitch worked, 2, and then the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and now I have 5 loops on our hook. Draw through all 5, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull through all. There you go, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, so now that we've got all our last star stitch on our hook, we're pulling through all 5 loops. We're going to chain our 1 to secure, and we're going to put our last half double crochet into the third chain, which is actually right there. And that is going to help to create the end of our row. Okay, so just like that. Now our next row we've already done. The next round is going to be repeat round 2. We're going to chain up 2 and we're going to put 2 half double crochets into the eye of every stitch, the eye of every star stitch. So one here, 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 here. And what we're going to do, if you measured what you wanted and what size was good for you, mine is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches. My phone's like 6, I don't know, 7 something. Anyways, this is the beginning part of our round. So we're going to make it double the size and then we're going to fold it in half. So essentially, we're going to make sure that there's extra space on the bottom for the actual fold over and for the zipper. If you're going to put a zipper on, then you can put a zipper on. So ideally, I want mine to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2. So I'm gonna make this entire star stitch 10 inches long, and that's what we're gonna do. Go ahead and figure out the sizing that you want, the length that you want. Remember, it's gonna fold halfway over, and go ahead and get to that point, and then I will meet you back here so that we can join our ends and put our tails on. All right? Okay, so now that we have finished and we've completed our panel of star stitches, the size that I've made mine is, it's about 11 inches, just about 10.5 inches, and 8.5 inches wide. So what we're going to do next is we're going to fold it over, and then we're going to take our side here and we are going to single crochet all the way down the side. Okay, so now that we're at the end, what we're going to do is we're going to fold our panel in half. Now be careful to make sure that you fold it in half with the wrong side on the inside. It's not a huge difference, but for me, I mean, it could just be personal preference. This side is the wrong side. I don't think that the stars are as defined. Now, if I fold it in half, I do believe this side is the right side. The star stitches are much more defined. So what we're going to do is fold that in half there, and we're going to single crochet all the way down the end. Now there's not really any sort of specific stitches to go into. You're just going to want to try to even them out, space them out as even as you can. When we do the other side, we're going to start with the same amount of stitches. So let's go ahead and put our single crochets in. So we've got those slip stitched together, and I am going to go in and make my single crochets all the way down the end. Okay, so now that we've single crocheted, joined, stitched up one side, we are going to chain 1 and turn, and we are going to decrease 1 stitch on the bottom, not the top where it's open. We're going to decrease every time we get to this side. So this side's going to stay straight. This side is going to decrease until we get to 5 stitches wide. Let's go ahead and do that. So the way that we're decreasing is we're just chaining 1. We're skipping the stitch that it's come from, and we're going into the next stitch. And then continuing our single crochets all the way down. Alright, and this one is the last single crochet of the side. We're not decreasing, so we're chaining 1, turning our work, and single crocheting right into that same space. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way down to the end, and at the end of this row we are still decreasing 1. It's still the side that we're decreasing until we get to the width that we want. I say 5 because I want to do mine 5, but you can make your belt any size you want, with any width that you want, whatever is most desirable for you. I'm not a fan of forcing people to do any which way. So this is our decrease side. So what we're going to do, this is our first stitch. We're going to go back and we're going to do 2 single crochets together. So the last 2 stitches is, let me show you that. The last 2 stitches go inside of the whole stitch, pull up a loop into the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull through all loops. Chain 1, we're turning our work. We're still working decrease on this side, so we're going to skip that stitch it's coming from and move into the next stitch. 1, 2, and we're going to go all the way up. The great thing about this pattern is you can customize it. I mean, the great thing about all my patterns are you can customize them. I prefer to have something that you can make your own than to tell you exactly how to do it. Alright, and this is the last stitch again, chaining 1, turning your work and going into that same stitch. So go ahead and decrease on that one side until you get to the belt length that you would like for your pack, and I will meet you back here to continue. Okay, so here we are at the end of our decrease. We've got one side decreasing and the top side where our opening is not decreasing, going straight. I want to stop at 5, which is about 1.5 inches wide, and that's where I'm going to continue the belt part. You're going to keep going to the belt part. Now, the way that you know exactly how much to go for your belt part is essentially you're going to fold this in half, and you're going to know the length of this. So, for example, if you know that your waist is 30 inches or your hips are 30 inches, you're going to stop your belt at least 2 or 3, maybe even 4 inches before that. We're going to make some braid chains to tie. So you're not going to be able to tie them if your belt goes all the way. If there's any reason to tighten it up, or somebody else wants to wear it or whatever it is, you want to make sure that your belt is not too long and that the remainder is from the chain. So I'm going to go ahead and continue my single crochets down until the length that I want my belt, and I will meet you back. And what we're going to do then is we are going to finish the same thing on this side. Okay, so now that we are at the end of one side of the decrease in the belt, what I'm going to do is go ahead and fasten off. Next, we are going to do a single crochet border all the way from here around, down, and back here. Really simple. There's nothing to worry about, clearly. Join, single crochet, single crochet. We're going to work into every space that presents itself. And we're going to go and do that all the way around. So go ahead and do that. You're going to fasten off and finish right here. And then you're going to make the opposite side exactly the same. Exactly the same. So what you'll want to do is count your single crochets going down this way. So when you start on this side, you'll want to make sure that you have the same exact amount of single crochets. Make sure that you space them out the same. Okay, so go ahead and finish that when you have both sides, and also both sides with the border. Meet me back here and I'm going to show you how to put the long braids to tie. All right? Okay, so I have gone ahead and completed both sides with my single crochet border all the way around the belt part. I did not put a border here. What should happen is, well, you could either put buttons or you can put a zipper. I put a zipper in my last one, but I'm not going to film it because I am not a very good sewer. So if you guys want to do that, or if you want to put a lining, then go ahead and do that. Now for our belt, what I've done is something really, really simple. I've gone ahead and chained about 4 chains of about 100. They are about 2 feet long. And so what I'm going to do here, find the middle of, to simply put one of each, not all the way on the end right here, but I want to put it like one whole roll down because I want it to be a little bit stronger. We're going to pull that through. Just like that, as if we were doing a tassel. We're going to pretend it's a tassel. And that's what our belt's going to look like. Okay, so you're going to put one on each corner. Right. Remember, I'm not putting it into the top stitch, I'm putting it into the stitch underneath that. Alright, and we're pulling that through. So that's going to be your belt. You're going to have 2 on this side, and you're going to go ahead and put 2 on this side, and you'll be able to tie them nicely, locking it up. using your nice little fanny pack, of course weaving in all your ends. You're going to have that nice little pouch inside, and go ahead and put that zipper on it. Thank you so much for watching Jolie Knots Crochet. Please go ahead and like, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment, let me know what other kind of tutorials you're interested in seeing. Have a good day.